Hey, you know what? It is doing business your way. And today we're going to actually really fall in deep discussions on accountability and your task items that you guys talked to Brent about this past Monday. Brent's going to be on the class for, part of the meeting. He's going to have to step away because he's got another event that he has to be a part of. But he'll be plugging off. So if there's anything you need to bring to the table, Brent, before you hang up, feel free to interrupt me, okay?
Thanks, Jose.
You got it, buddy. So Sean's not here, okay? But I'm gonna go down the list, guys, of everything, all the action items that you guys give it in play, and I want to talk about that. And I also want to ask, how much time have you been embedded into this particular scenario, right? So I'm going to start with Sean. Sean's not on. Sean had an open house. Seven groups came in. He got an offer on the high rise. Got a new buyer. Did a video post with Archie, his 16-year-old dog, scheduled out social media posts to go across all platforms, going to start getting active on LinkedIn. Now, Sean's not on here, but I would estimate timeline of a work schedule. How many hours do you think you put into that? So you got hours of open house, 3 hours or 2 hours. He got an offer, so you negotiate probably an offer, maybe another hour and a half on that one day. He did a video post with his dog. I mean, that's 20 seconds, 30 seconds, depending if you messed up a couple times, right? And he scheduled out his social media. Now, Sean's been very proactive, and Brent, please correct me if I'm wrong, but Sean's been very proactive about trying to scheduling that social media presence or post, I believe, like the week of or the Sunday or Monday before the week starts, and he gets it all ready, so it automatically populates. Has any of you guys done that yet? Has anybody like went ahead and start looking at presetting their social media yet? Joe, you have? Good. Do you find it to be a little more efficient with your time?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no, because a lot of times you have to tweak what you're posting depending on what platform you're posting it on. So
okay,
some things you can, and some things do work really well that way, but some things you kind of have to do the same day. So it just depends.
Kind of like a live post, right? Like, hey, it has to go out right now. Something just came up. I got to put it out there. I got you.
Right.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
some of the Facebook stuff is pretty easy though to post forward. So
okay. I have Kylie got her inspections. She was in a situation where she had inspection negotiations that were really rough, but she actually got them to the table. Here's the thing, guys, and this is something as from an agent's perspective. Right now we're putting ourselves in a position where we're getting very comfortable by saying, hey, look, man, when we do inspections, you almost go in that mindset as we're so lucky that they accepted our offer. Let's please not look at any, let's just only look at major deals on the inspection report. Let's not ask for much because we don't want to kill this. Like, we're really paranoid on how to approach this. But always remember, guys, once that contract's accepted, you are representing your client to the fullest, okay? This inspection notice came back with so many red flags. I mean, to the point you're thinking, yeah, this is a dead deal, right? It was a rehab property. Electric was completely off. It was wrong, not off, like turned off, but just wrong, period. No ground. There's so many termites, roofing concerns, base finish. I mean, it was just a number of things. But as I looked at it, I said, look, the reality is you're there to protect your client. If your client has concerns, you need to make sure you address it, you note it, you put it on the inspection notice, and you throw it to the other side. Because here, guess what? As a listing agent, when you receive that information, you are now aware of those conditions of that property, correct? So in some cases, when those properties end up having to go back on the market, you have to disclose what you now know, correct? So as I'm going through this deal with Kylie, I said, listen, when you, and she did such a phenomenal job in relaying that information over to the other agent and the concern that her client had, that at the end of the day, you got Diana coming in. They were able to get it to the table. I mean, they literally went from a horrendous inspection notice to, hey, listen, you know, our client, he really likes the property, but he's very concerned about these items. And I mean, it's a lot of items, we get it, but you're gonna run into the same situation. If you guys don't decide to do anything with us, you're gonna end up having the same situation in the future. We're ready, he's wanna pay, they gave you a abrupt list price. How can we get this to work? You know, and at first they were kind of paddling back, oh, well, you know, we're not gonna, and then before you know it, they're like, okay, fine, we'll take care of it all. Client's happy. How much time do you think that took? A couple hours, 3 hours, right? And there's a reason why I'm calculating hours, and you'll know towards the end of the meeting on why I'm calculating these hours, right? All right, Sarah Umstate, training with Brent. They completed and signed buyer consults, which is huge. She's got buyers now she's working with. Sarah sometimes can jump on our call and she can't, sometimes because she works part-time. So there's times when she can't make this, but she's very in touch with Brent consistently on training, communication, same with Lynn. So she's definitely putting her best foot forward. But she's got, the consult got a call back from her Jared Jane postcard from a farm area. So that's a second agent already who's gotten a response from postcards. So if you guys are not doing postcards, you know what? I highly, highly recommend it because it's working. That's 2 agents brand new in the market or in the business, Kylie and Sarah, that received a call back. Kylie, actually, the one situation that I was talking about with that file is a client that she literally picked up from that postcard. So I think she said,
Jose,
yeah, Brent.
Jose, I was going to say on Sarah's, it's a legitimate lead. It's an older gentleman who is looking to downsize because he's by himself and really wants to know where he's at in the market. So it's a real deal. It's not like somebody was kind of just messing around with her. She's got a call and she could end up to be a listing.
And that listing, I'm sure, is going to be a few $100,000. So
yeah,
if you're spending $90 on postage for 425 or 447 postcards, and you get that to the table, and at an average of, let's just say 2.5, 400,000, you're looking right around, or let's just call it at 300,000, because in that area where she farmed, the average house was 400, but let's just call it 300. What's 2.5% of 300, right? I mean, you're making well over $6,000, $7,000 in commission, if not more, right?
Right.
That's not a bad ROI, right? If you're really looking at marketing campaigns, $90 and $7,500 of commissions going back to you. Now, how much time do you think she spent on that? A few hours, couple hours, right? Okay. Huh? What'd you say?
The camera thing. Why is it camera?
It likes you, Kay.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Kay's all paranoid. Kay's paranoid that the camera keeps focusing on her.
Oh, like he's talking.
The best looking one at the table.
That's what it is. You're right. All right,
You're most
Neil.
photogenic.
On there.
Lost one deal under contract for a warehouse, putting together another deal for the seller. He has a new buyer. He is working with another deal. He says he has failed on working on the business as CEO, hopes to get back on the horse this week. Hey, look, you know what? Accountability is also knowing if you're not on the boat, you know, you got to get back, right? Neil, I mean, I commend you, man, for understanding the fact that reality is reality. Look, I fell off, I got off the wagon. I need to get back on there. Not to use the analogy of, you know, these groups, these counseling groups, right? Where they're like, hey, you know, knowing is half the battle. As long as you know, and you know that you didn't get into that drive like you normally do as CEO in your business, and you know that you got to get back on, let's hop onto that, man. Let's get you back on. You can't fire your CEO on a weekly basis. Brent says that consistently. You got to remember, you got to know how to balance your profession. It's your business. And there's different hats that we wear in our business, especially we're independent, you know, we're an independent company, we're a small based company. But organizing and running and structuring your business for the future has to be the CEO's job. And it has to be, you know, a consistent manner. But in essence, Neil, you had a contract that went in, you had a contract that fell out. You're working with deals. You still got stuff in the hopper. I know you missed the business with Brent, I believe, because you had something going on at that time, which is great. You know, we always tell people, look, if it's legitimate business, yeah, you got to do what you got to do. But what would you say your time spent with on those deals? What would you say your time was spent on just everything what I noted, from dealing with the dead deal, from from contract to dead deal, to now working with buyers, to now working with a potential other deal for that warehouse?
Quite a bit, and also
Right.
redoing the bathroom in our condo at the same time.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
We've been pretty busy last 2 weeks, just trying to do a myriad of things. So
Sure. Management, right? Time management is a key issue here, right? Gotta balance that. You know, we gotta figure that time management is crucial in our industry, especially when you have projects, especially at home. You know, those things don't just stay away. You gotta get it done. So we get it. But I'll explain to you why I'm doing all this here as soon as we get done with everyone, but you'll understand my madness. Joe, ex-coworker from WashU, gave a referral by seeing video on social media. Huh? Look at that. It works. Consistency on social media. It actually works, Kay.
That's what I hear.
Can you believe that?
That's so awesome.
Another friend saw a video of garage door, did the same thing. Joe said, don't forget to send referrals, loaded up 34 reviews onto his website. Writing more thank you notes, wrote offer, didn't get accepted. Tell me if that's not a platform of success right there in consistency. Tell me that's not saying, look, I got to get out the box. I got to be proactive. I got to engage. I got to use our tools that are in front of us and make this happen. This is crucial, guys. It works. Everything that we've been talking about, until I get really passionate, but I'm passionate about this stuff because it works. It really does work. If you add these components into your business plan, it will succeed. Do not get discouraged. Great job, Joe. How much time do you think that took for you? And what I just mentioned?
Social media, I spent about, I don't know, goodness, normally half an hour a day, but on Wednesdays when I do my videos, that usually takes 2 or 3 hours for the video. So 3 or 4 hours for that, for social media, maybe per the day. Writing the offer was a couple of hours, going back and forth, but I didn't get it. I'd probably say about 10 hours, 12 hours. Total.
Okay, perfect. Awesome, Joe. Kristen Kaufman has a new listing with an investor working with she just came back running, huh? She has a new listing with an investor working with a Chicago artist to buy an art gallery. Uh-oh, that's awesome. Created her pot buys for dog owners in the area, doing pictures of dogs and dog parks in South City and posting on social media, which I think it's an awesome idea. Has a couple other buyers working with, lots of good things in working. Tell me, Chris, you're really being very proactive on the true organic engagement, which is not necessarily always social media. The pot buys are huge. Going around, she specifically wants to work in her surrounding neighborhood. She's getting out there. She's becoming very vocal of what she does for a living with people, which is really good as far as presenting the pot buys and sewing. She might not be thinking she's asking for the business, but when she's doing pot buys, she's asking for the business. Whether she says it or not, that's the point. Brand representation, right? We remember last conversation we had with Chris. Chris, like, look, I can't do that. I'm not the type of person that asks for business. Cool. But you know what you're doing? You're doing pot buys. What's that? You're asking for the business. Congratulations.
It's coming through. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just not a high pressure person as an individual. So,
But again, this is doing business your way, guys. If that's your comfort level, you're knocking out 2 birds with 1 stone. That is awesome. You know, you guys got to remember, Kristen is a very consistent real estate agent. In the past, prior to everything that transpired over the past couple of years, she did some serious business. Her approach now is, look, I want to control what I can control and handle what I can handle. And I want to focus in my neighborhood, period. That's great.
yeah.
So she's out there getting her footprint, guys. Her brand is out there. Great job. What would you say time-wise spending on this, Kristen? What would you say? How many hours you think?
You know, I've been looking at that because you're getting me more in the mindset of actually doing that, although it's against my nature to actually want to log time. But you know, I'm getting there. Hang with me, I'll get there. You know, Jose, I would bet I've spent realistically 80 hours in the past 3 weeks doing the pop buys, the handwritten notes. I've got
Awesome.
postcards. So it's been time consuming, but I've got it all in a spreadsheet now. So I've got I like the word cadence. I've got a cadence. I'm hitting, you know, it starts off with a pop buy. We follow up in 3 weeks with a state of the market in South City. 3 weeks later, I've got postcards going out right now today that say, what's the number one thing that you love in Benton Park?
Yeah.
You know, the answer to this may be crucial to selling your home when the time is right. Flip over, it's my information, you know, your Benton Park realtor. So I think I'm a big, you know, being a sales manager in my past life, I'm a big proponent, just like you had mentioned, of a cadence. And that dovetails right in with let's follow up and have a cadence to it. And with me, if I had that spreadsheet and I've got it in my calendar, I do it. Now, this other stuff with closings and listings and stuff, I can't tell you how much, that's all depending upon the situation. I've had a real ugly one last week. It's been pretty time consuming, but I can't plan for it. So I just do it, you know. But I would say realistically 80 hours, but it's 80 hours well spent. And it's 80 hours that I love to do. I love to do this kind of stuff. So it's not work to me. I love to
That's
draw.
awesome.
I love
Awesome.
to make cute little things and plot buys. I love it. So it's not work to me. Anyway, thank you.
Good job, Kristen.
Love it,
Julia.
Kristen.
Julia had kids' birthdays, little brother's wedding all last week. She is back on her game this week, marketing and focus on her schedule, which I've noticed on her social media. She's not on the call right now, but I did notice on her social media, she re-engaged back into social media because Julia is very consistent on her social media, but she's right. The past week and the week before, she had a lot of other stuff going on that she wasn't. But it's kind of like Neil's perspective. You know, when you fire your CEO, right? You're like, hey man, I gotta step back into that CEO position. I gotta keep maintaining the business for the future. Maybe my agent needs some time off, but my CEO has to still, as a CEO, you still gotta run the company. Does that make sense, guys? You know, there's times where you're gonna have to take some time and say, man, I gotta do this shit. But there, you as a CEO gotta put that other hat on and say, okay, I'm a CEO. Right now, I'm not showing properties. Right now, I got other things, but as a CEO, I still got to plan at least the next coming weeks, what I have pending, what I got going on. So that immediately when I'm ready to re-inject myself back in the business, you're starting without, you know, taking a step back and cleaning everything back up. You're staying consistent, okay? Steve Hall, working with buyer and got offer accepted on townhome. Where is Steve, Brent? Why has he not been on these calls? Do I need to call him?
I think a Jose call would be wonderful.
Put that down. I need to call Steve. Steve's not, there's something going on with Steve and I'm going to get to it because he has been busy and I get it, but he's also a good person to have on these calls because he's very transparent with what he does. So I need to get on him. That's an accountability thing that I need to do. I need to get Steve back on these calls. So I'll take care of that. Kay, don't get scared, Kay.
Yeah.
2 closings last week, yeah. A closing this week, yeah. 2 buyers contracts waiting to hear. So you're rocking, you're going.
Yes,
That's the agent of you though. What's the CEO of you doing?
my CEO sucks.
She said her CEO sucks, guys. That's what Kay just said. Why is that, Kay?
Because I don't plan well enough, because I get caught up in all the busyness and, you know, let's do this, we gotta do this, we gotta handle this. And, you know, a couple of the closings had, you know, just like they always do at the very end, you know, you just have to get back on the treadmill and figure out what the heck's going on. But, you know, yeah, you get caught up in all that and then you don't make the time to do the other stuff that you need to do. And that's where I've always fallen off.
What hours would you say you put into what you just explained on this sheet for Brent? How many hours went into that, you think, in your opinion? Just a guess.
I would say 30 hours a week, just, you know, just running after stuff, 30 to 40 hours a week.
Okay. Effectively, well, let me rephrase that with what you explained here. the 2 closings last week, the closing this week, and the 2 buyers under contract, you said you put about 30 hours in those 2 weeks each?
Well, I mean, like consistently
Uh-huh.
working on them and stuff. and
Okay, so
showing
you're saying like for
properties
the
and-
full month, okay,
Right,
gotcha, all right,
Yeah.
cool.
She had one that had the well agreement that had her running all over town in hours.
Yeah.
Hours. That was.
And guys, talk about some very crazy case studies, right? Kay did have a file that literally, at the time of the actual closing, sitting at this table before they closed, they were still trying to figure out a water,
Shared well.
a shared well agreement. And it was incredibly difficult, and I'm telling you, to the wire. And they finally, right before they were signing, the title company went ahead and worked that out, correct? Or the lender.
We had already signed.
Oh,
And then
okay.
they said they weren't gonna fund. I had the seller on that one and we had already signed everything. And then they said, we're not gonna fund the transaction, which meant my seller, who was now also my buyer, couldn't move forward with their purchase.
Mm.
So, so yeah, I mean, we sat there, Landon and I were on the phone with the underwriter, which I never, I always hate underwriters just because, and, this one, I actually told her I loved her and I don't think I'll ever do that again. But it was just, but she did, she went to bat for us because they didn't like verbiage on this agreement and it was just, something we had turned in a month before and they were still working on it the day of funding. It was
Wow.
ridiculous. It was.
There you
just
go,
crazy.
guys. The reality of real estate, when you put your CEO hat back on, right? You gotta do what is the term I'm looking for? When you're on high alert, you gotta get something done, right? You gotta bring in that CEO to try to smooth things over and get it to the table. She did get it to the table, but they weren't gonna fund without a doc, but she was able to make it work, so.
No.
Anything can happen on that, thank you. So about 30 hours a week, right? Give or take for that time frame. Good. Jamie, where is Jamie? You gotta find out where Jamie's at too. She's in,
I know she's at the office. She was helping someone, Kevin.
okay. Ordered a dumpster, sending out notices to neighbors in the area, has a new listing and a new buyer contract accepted as well. Social media post is scheduled for the new seller this Thursday. Again, automation, right? On autopilot, getting everything ready, pre-work, set up, so you guys don't have to clutter with it on a day-to-day. That's good stuff, guys. I could reckon to say she probably spent maybe 20 hours on this deal, on putting that stuff. Let's just say that, we'll give her that. Carol showed 10 homes, Carol Camarada showed 10 homes over the weekend, put an offer 100,000 over asking, no contingencies, all cash, and it did not get accepted. Yep. Did not get accepted. They came in as a backup now. Okay. Now, knowing Carol, as everyone knows Carol, she worked her ass off on this. Knowing her, she put everything in it. And imagine going into a deal, no contingencies, all cash, $100,000 above list price, and come to find out you're not even gonna get the offer.
That's insane.
That's our current market, guys. That's our current market. It is insane, but that's our current market. Everett met with him to whiteboard out a whole new marketing plan. How's that coming along, Everett?
It's still a work in progress.
Okay. How much time have you put into it, Everett?
I can put more time into it. I've got a closing tomorrow and I've got stuff I'm needing to get together at the last minute. So I'm still wearing the agent hat right now.
Okay, all right, that's fair enough. Jamie Gent, we need to find out where Jamie Gent's at too. Do you mind?
She's in the office.
Oh,
Here.
she's there?
No.
Yeah.
Jamie Jack.
Yeah, no. I'm talking about Jamie Gent, our
Oh.
Washington neighbor. She did a business strategy board session with Brent. She was here. I was here with that, for her with that. From then she went out to held an open house on Sunday and did her first Facebook reel for social media. That's great. Remember, she just started 2 weeks ago with us, so that's a good point. Okay. Why am I asking about times, right? Because Neil brought up a good point, and this is a perfect case study about, CEO pretty much didn't have my CEO hat on. Kay brought it up again where she's like, man, my CEO sucks. All right. we're gonna table just that statement and talk about a general work schedule for a week. And we've talked about in the past about how to time management, you know, balance your schedule, so on and so forth. If you guys would have a transaction coordinator that was an employee with you guys, or another person under your umbrella, right? And they rely on you guys to tell them what to do, okay? You guys are their boss. You're the boss. You're the CEO, and you have an employee underneath your umbrella and your payroll. Okay, your payroll. Would you run as lean as you run now with your schedule and your time management? I'm going to repeat that again. Would you run the same way you're running now with your schedule and your time management? As lean as it is. When I mean that, up to the week, you're barely working it on a Monday, right? But if you had to pay, if you have somebody you have to pay because you hired them to better your business, how prepared would you be for that employee to know what they're doing? Kristen's like this. She's like, I want you to think about that, okay? Because you know, I wish we had that here because I could write, but in reality, you need to look at it like that. You guys have to look at yourselves like that. And that's where you're going to come with the true understanding that you guys are running a business. A business does not stop when you stop. Does that make sense? If you work for corporate America and you take a day off, does the whole business stop because you're not there? No. It keeps going. And I want to embed that mindset in everyone here on this call and all our agents under our agency, because in reality, your business does not stop because you're not there. So the question is, how well are you preparing to that when you do take time off from your work, that your business is still moving ahead? Your activities, your actions, your steps for that week are moving ahead. Because remember, if you're paying someone to do a job that you're literally cutting a check, hard money, okay, I'm hiring you for $600 a week to do my postcards or to do this, or to do X, Y, Z. And you know that every Friday, I have to pay Kay $600 a week, every week. And Kay's like, I'm excited, I'm ready. What do you need me to do? Would you work her on a day-to-day basis? And then tomorrow be like, okay, we'll figure out tomorrow what we got going on. Does that make sense? What would you guys do? More than likely, I can assure you 1000% that you guys, as smart as you guys are and as independent as you guys are, you guys would have a weekly schedule laid out on action items for Kay to do for that week, for the whole week. Because why? You're smart business people. You're not just going to keep her on a wing here and take her day by day when you know that Friday you have to pay her $600. You want to maximize your money, wouldn't you? To Neil's background in the restaurant business, I guarantee you he didn't just think of the menu on a daily basis. I'm sure it was planned out, don't you think, Neil? Yeah, it was planned out.
Yep.
Everything is planned, guys. To include your time off. We want you guys to have a balance in your work, in your life, in your business. But if you don't plan for it, you know, the business stops when you stop. $20 hours, 10 hours, 16 hours, 30 hours, 80 hours in a 3-week timeline. that still shows me that there's room for planning. You have more hours in those days in that week to plan accordingly and how to maximize your business. This is the part of these sessions that when we talk, I take so much passion in talking about accountability, because guess what? I have to use it for myself as well. Our organization has to plan, not just next week, not just this month, not just next month. We're already planning basically fourth quarter, end of the year stuff, next year stuff. You know, what do they say? You can't sail a ship half staff, right? You just can't. You can try, but it goes very slow. I want to know from you guys. I want to know what's that mental blockage, right? What's stopping you guys from entering the world of business owner, right? Than just a real estate agent. When you guys go out there and you represent yourselves, you guys are a real estate agency. You're a real estate firm. When you go out there, you talk on with clients and prospective. I own a real estate, and I'm in the real estate business. When they ask me what I do, I'm in the real estate business. I'm a real estate agency. You know, when I was doing that, I was doing that 15 years ago when I ran my own team. I would tell people, because guess what? I'm an independent contractor. I'm under the umbrella of Remax Gold, under the umbrella of Remax LLC. And there's that umbrella, this umbrella, and my umbrella, the Ponce Realty Group. I'm a real estate firm. Joe, what are you?
Real estate firm, I guess.
Neil, what are you? You're on mute, Neil.
A CEO.
Woo! Yes. Diane, what are you? You're on mute, Diane. I can't mute. I can't, you know.
I own a real estate company.
Beautiful. Kristen, what are you?
I'm a business owner.
Abso-freaking-lutely. Everett,
I'm an independent contractor.
really? Really, Everett? Really?
Come
What
on,
does that mean?
accountability partner.
Everett, what does that mean?
Business owner.
Thank you, Everett. Thank you. Kay, what are you?
I am a CEO.
Thank you.
Good luck.
And a great one.
Yes, I don't suck anymore.
Kylie's on another call. She just texted me, so she can't answer right now, but she's also a business owner. Lynn, obviously on our agency, she's a business owner in essence, right? I'm a business owner. I've always been a business owner, even when I sold real estate, guys. That's the mindset that has to get embedded digitally, manually, knocked into your thoughts and mindset. That's what you guys are. So when we see these things, these are awesome. You guys are making headway. Let's plan for them. Let's plan for your next day off. And let's plan that on your day off, you have things in motion. Let's plan ahead. You know what? I got to work on my bathroom on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to plan for that. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to make sure that I have all these items in line so that while I'm out, things are still moving in motion. What are those particular items? How about marketing? How about setting up your social media plan, your presence, right? How about making sure that your lenders and your vendors are all on board on making sure while you're out, you know, they're working with things that you have them in the mix to do. There's plenty of things that you guys can have on autopilot while you guys are off or doing other things. You guys are business owners. Run your business that way. Please. You'll notice a big difference when you start looking at yourself as an actual business owner versus just a real estate agent. Yes, Diane.
I have a question for the group. When you sent out your postcards, how long was it before you heard from people?
I can answer that right now.
Yes.
Right now.
Right.
Sarah, who was it? Sarah, right? We said Sarah Sullentrop? Sarah Sullentrop said, no, I'm sorry, Sarah Umstead. Where did I get from? Oh my God, I can't believe that name came out of my mouth. Yeah, never mind. Sorry, I'm gonna burn my tongue with that one. Sarah Umstead sent out postcards immediately upon sending. Within the next 48 hours, 72 hours, I believe she received already a lead, a strong lead where they're gonna list the property. Kylie Brasic sent out postcards, 400 and something postcards. Literally the next day, she got the buyer that she has under contract that she negotiated inspection notices. Literally at this point, they're going to the table.
Well, here's my problem. I sent out 399 postcards probably 10 days ago. I have not heard from anybody, but it's on the same mail route as I am on, but I didn't do my house and my block because everybody knows me. But I haven't heard from anybody, but I've been having trouble with the post office getting magazines, mails, and I get my bills on the day they're due and everything. One of my mail carriers told me they were told just to hold all that junk back and not even deliver it. And I'm a little upset that I spent money if they're throwing it in the trash. So
They're not supposed to. They're not supposed to, Diane, but here, let me put you back into your CEO perspective. You're a business owner, right?
I'm about ready to beat them.
If that doesn't succeed, what do? Go find a different farming area, perhaps not in your area, that maybe you can have a bigger draw from. If that one didn't work, that doesn't mean it's not gonna work. It's just you didn't find the right spot at that moment or something happened. Go get another one done in a different farming area, and then you can compare, right? Then you can say, okay, now I have analytical information here that tells me that postcards don't work here, and perhaps they work here or they don't work here. Don't give up. Keep going.
I'm not giving up. I'm ready to go to the post office physically and
go for it. Go for it. You know, get your explanation, but then you can say, look, I'm gonna go do a different farming area completely outside of my grid, and I'm gonna see how that kind of return on my investment looks like.
I have another one I can do, so that's good. But
absolutely, yeah.
That was I figured as soon as I saw those postcards, they'd be calling me to see how much it sold for, and because I didn't put the price it sold for. And I thought that, and people that knew me would call and ask me anyway, but
yeah.
I'm just a little perplexed over the whole thing that I haven't heard
Sure.
from anybody. So I was, you know, I'm gonna do something else, of course. But
Sounds good, Diana. Excellent.
okay.
Guys, it's just the key discussion right now is time management and becoming an actual CEO of your business. And do not forget, you have to have a CEO to run your business, and you also have to have the legwork to streamline that business. I want you to take in consideration one thing, okay? For those of you guys that have contracts right now pending, we're gonna write contracts, all right? For the most part, you're touching a contract on the back end for about 8 hours on average. What do I mean by back end? What I mean by that is back end means you got to touch it because you got to go in, make sure your file's clean. There's addendums that you're going back and forth, communication going back and forth, perhaps inspections and stuff, paperwork, so on and so forth. On an average for a 30-day deal, 40-day deal, you're in that file for about 8 hours total.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so those 8 hours are you doing that as a CEO? Making that decision as a CEO, or are you making that decision as an agent? Does that make sense what I'm asking? I'm gonna repeat that again. Are you making the decision to touch your file as a CEO? Or are you making that decision as an agent to touch your file?
Should be.
Agent.
Agent, right?
Right.
Why? Because what would a CEO do?
Just look over it and pass it and make sure it was okay, I guess.
The CEO would have somebody handle that because the CEO's time is much more valuable than getting stuck doing the tedious work, as we call it, right? And not focusing those 8 hours on the future growth of their company. Now, we're all new in this business. We're trying to understand and comprehend the paperwork. I get that. I'm just using that as a theory, guys. A lot of us have been there a lot longer, but let's say we are here, we're learning the business. Great. You don't think you can squeeze an hour a week understanding the contracts and the amendments and all that? If you want to really just say, I want to learn more about the file, I think you can knock it out maybe an hour a week instead of spending 8 hours in a month, right? So what does that get you? What would be the smartest investment that you can do that you know that you're not going to pay out until the deal actually closes? Having somebody do your paperwork, right? Jared James literally already immediately states that. Why am I going to waste my time when I know what I'm good at? Why would I waste my time flickering with paperwork? To save $300? $300?
Right.
I'm saying it like that because I want you guys to understand the gravity of it all. Let's say you got 3 deals in a month and you're handling all that paperwork. What's 8 times 3? It's 24 hours. Wouldn't those 24 hours be better spent as a CEO working on your business? Instead of getting caught back here trying to figure out, okay, I got to figure out why is she saying I'm missing a signature on something? Or I got to go back because Joan's asking for this paper that I thought Is that a decision a CEO makes or is that a decision an agent makes?
Agent.
CEO. Your CEO makes that decision. Guess what? I'm going to streamline my business. And I know for that every transaction that I do, there's a $300 charge or cost to me for doing that business, that deal. But the good thing about that is I don't have to pay that until the deal's closed. You're not paying it ahead of time, guys.
If it doesn't close, you don't pay it.
No one gets paid, right? Dead in the water. But don't you want to have somebody that you can say, XYZ person, here's this file, let me know where we're at. I got to move to the next one. I got to get my team, my agent, who's also me, moving forward. How much information do you need to know on a file? Appraisals, inspections, negotiations on inspections, right? That already takes time. Why would you add more time doing the back end work? Who here uses a transaction coordinator?
I do.
Hands up over here. Okay. Everett.
Sometimes. Kristen doesn't like me anymore.
Hey, listen, I'm not even plugging Kristen. Now, Kristen is a great transaction coordinator, but I'm not even I'm just simply saying, guys, when it's all said and done, you will find yourself saving time and making more money than what you would be doing spending not spending $300 and using and having to put your own time in 8 hours. Wouldn't that be part of your foundation in your business? I have a marketing partner here. I have a transaction coordinator here. I have a title partner here. I have inspector partner here. Can I ask you guys something? When's the last time you guys asked your inspectors that you guys send business to take you to lunch so you guys really can streamline your relationship for your business? Show of hands. All right. When's the last time you guys contacted your lenders that you send business to take you out to lunch to streamline your business? Okay, we've got Joe. When's the last time you've asked your title company to take you guys to lunch to basically sit down and streamline your business?
Weekly.
All right, Kay does it weekly because she's good friends with Mimi, but that's cool. Do you see where I'm going with this, guys? I hope you do. All this is at your disposal. All this is in front of you. It's called networking. It's called engagement. It's called, hey, listen, I'm serious about my business. And when I send stuff to you, here's how we need to work collectively. Do you guys think any of those things would help your business? Absolutely, right? Accountability, guys. Why can't you guys hold your partners accountable? It's your business, it's your company. You're referring them business. Out of everybody I've asked, you're the only one that sends business to all that group that I just stated right now. Don't you guys feel that you guys have that authority within your company to decide what you want and how you want things done for your business? To help grow your business? Because that's all you're asking them to do. Take care of my clients and help me grow my business. Am I yelling too much? You guys know when I'm passionate, right? You guys know when I get on my roll, I feel it because it's true. It's reality, guys. Success is not going to come to you. You got to go get it. You got to go get it. You got to go set up your systems to go get it. You got to be able to send that time to be able to do the things you want to do and not feel like this job is simply all you do for the rest of your life. You got to balance that, but only good, great business owners and CEO can successfully separate church and state. Can you guys do that? Are you willing to sacrifice the time to really understand that you guys are a business owner and you guys need to figure out the solution on balancing your structure of business so that you, when you step out of pocket on one of those times, you know for a fact it's running efficiently. Having somebody do your paperwork is money well spent because that means you have more time focusing on your business from that 30,000-foot view. Questions, guys? Does this all jive with you guys? I mean, is this making sense? Do you guys understand what we're trying to get to today? When's the last time you guys held an open house? Crickets. You know how many buyers are out there right now independently just walking through freaking open houses thinking they can get a house just like that? No agents. I mean, it's literally like going fishing in a deep, a shallow pond with all these fish.
What?
When's the last time? When's the last time have you guys held an open house where you perhaps, and I love this concept and I'm going to keep bringing it up because Brett brought it to my attention. I swear to God, in the 20 years, I've never heard of it. But when's the last time you decided to go do an open house and before the open house, give about an hour of that time to the neighbors and invite all the neighbors to come in because it's only going to be for the neighbors to come check out the house and if they know anybody that's interested in moving in their neighborhood.
I love that. That's good.
Guys, we're working an average of 16 hours a week. We calculated that last time. Before, your previous employers would work you to 40 to 45 to 50 plus hours a week. Why aren't you doing this for your business? Why aren't you doing this for yourself? This is accountability, guys. Sometimes you're going to hear things that you don't want to hear. It's kind of like that truth hurts. And sometimes I feel that when I talk to myself. When I talk to myself and I yell at myself and I'm the CEO and I'm also the guy that does everything else. I have these real hard, touchy subjects that I talk to myself about. Some people think I'm crazy. I'm kidding. I don't talk. I do talk to myself. I'm not gonna lie. But Kay's hurting. I talk to myself. But the reality is, you have to realize that it's on you to make your business a success. But if you don't believe that you're a business, you're always going to look at yourself as that independent contractor, as Everett just stated, which he's really not. He's a business owner, which I know he clarified that afterwards. you're not gonna be able to look from that. You're gonna be in that small little bubble. I'm a real estate agent. I'm just a real estate agent. I'm just a real estate agent. Well, that means, you know, you're just there to sell houses. You're not there to build a business. You're just there to make money and subsidize, you know, use that money to maintain. That's cool, man. If that's what you want to do, that's cool too. But I know that once you come into that mindset of being a business owner, a CEO of your company, your mind will change the outlook on how you do business. I assure you that. Any questions, guys? How did I do? All right? Make
Good.
sense? Kind of?
Lots of good information today.
All right. Okay, so look, next week, okay, when Brent contacts you on Monday, guys, I want you guys to tell him. I don't want him to bring it. I want you guys to look. Here's how I'm gonna plan. I planned out my week, Brent. Here's what I got going on. I got to finish a bathroom that I've been working on for 2 weeks. Here's the days I'm going to work. But while I'm doing that, I've already made contact with the vendors that I want to set up some lunches, some meetings. I want to see how I can get in their face so they know that I'm in this business. And then when I send them deals, here's how I want to work. Or I'm going to set up some marketing campaign meetings with vendors. Does that mean when you go to one vendor that we have, does that mean you got to use just one? Or can you use all 4 banking vendors to do postcards all over the place? Yeah. Think about that.
That's a good idea.
Use these vendors to your advantage, guys. They want to do stuff with you guys.
Yeah.
All right. Love you guys. You guys are awesome. Let's get back at it. Let's talk again. Accountability, your only action item is when you talk to Brent, just structure something. Give them an action plan that you want, because we're going to talk about it on the next, doing business your way. Cool?
Cool.
All right, guys, have a great week. Happy Memorial Day. Enjoy your weekend. Plan for it. Make it happen.